Okay, so he's gonna be right back, but I want to get the pre going. Yeah, there's a noise in the background. He's down. On this episode podcast
That should
thing.
be good if you can hear it.
Nope, we're good. Um, we are post Phoenix. Uh, Post Phoenix race in the news. To not very much news has come out for the race after, but I guess if you want to start,
Okay. I think I got the TV turned down good enough.
you're fine. Oh, I mean, like start the show. We're going.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I started while you were walked away. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I went, all right. No. Penalties were there was only one post race penalty on number 7 car.
Yeah, I saw.
Improperly installed wheel.
I think the harsh is it's pretty harsh penalty though. Four races, 4 point events,
Yeah, he lost his crew chief.
tire changer and jackman. Yeah, I saw that
Oh,
too.
you're correct. I was looking at the Xfinity guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't the only one though that lost the tire. Truex did, and he didn't get hammered. You know, I don't know. Uh, Star of the race, Kyle Larson had to go with the back. Ended up blowing the motor, I guess.
Broken valve spring. That's just a
Yeah.
faulty metal or whatever tempering they did to that. He would have been ruined my lineup, but my lineup still did pretty well.
If it wasn't for the 40 extra points, I'd have got pounded because I lost 2 guys. But yeah, Harrison Burton had to go with the back. I don't know what that was all about. It, I don't know. To me, it was kind of a generic race. Really, not a lot of excitement.
Yeah, I thought the same. It was just another race, get it going. I think it's more or less people still learning the car, get the West Coast swing out of the way.
Exactly. Congratulations, obviously, to Chase Briscoe.
Yeah.
Second first time winner this year, so that's pretty cool
Well,
to have.
I had a feeling that was gonna happen just because it's the new car. So I think there's gonna be a lot of first ones. Ross Chastain's gonna be another one, and Tyler Reddick's gonna be another first time winner.
Yeah, he finished third. Tyler Reddick did. That was pretty cool, and I didn't hear him complaining about
Legs,
his
I
legs.
didn't hear that either. So whatever they fixed about his chair cutting off his circulation, making his legs numb, they must have fixed it. But him and
I
Ross
think they put.
Chastain.
Yeah. I remember what I wrote. Oh, he was also the 200th different winner.
Yeah, I got that wrote down too. That's a
Yep,
little cool
yep.
little stat for him. Chase Briscoe wins first Cup win, and he's the 200th different Cup driver to win the series.
Yep. So again, it was overall, like I said, with 4 different winners so far, 2 of them first timers. Another interesting thing is the top 3 in the points right now don't have a win. Joey Logano, where did
I saw
what did
Joey
do?
was number 1.
Yeah, Logano's number 1. Kyle Busch and then Chase Elliott. None of those 3 have a win. Kyle Larson is 4th. Chase Briscoe is 5th with a win apiece. Amarola is 6th.
I was going to say, where's Amarola? He's finished consistently. He finished
Yep.
11th, so technically 4 top 11 positions. But he's only
Yep.
14 behind, so.
Exactly. Ryan Blaney's in 7th. Austin Cindric with his win at Daytona is in 8th. Tyler Reddick, even with his leg issues through first couple of races, he's in 9th, and Kevin Harvick is in 10th.
But look at the top 10. 6 of them are Fords.
Uh-huh. Fords are shining right now.
Top 15 is all 4 Hendrick.
Right. Oh, you got Reddick in there in a Chevy, and Kyle and Chase. So it's not. But Kyle Busch is the only
Toyota. That
Toyota in the top 10.
then his big brother right behind him in 12. Not far.
Yeah.
One race can swing that.
What an awesome race Kurt had.
Finish what?
And,
What did he finish?
at Phoenix, finished 5th.
Yeah, finished 5th, and then Kyle was 7th.
Yep.
I think that was the week I took him out too. Like I had him last week.
And where was
He
Bubba?
said he was
Bubba?
surprised he finished the top Toyota. Bubba finished
Well,
22nd, average for him.
Yeah.
Let's put him on every fucking poster there is for NASCAR.
Exactly. And then let him, complain. You talking about Bubba, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then let him get out and cuss everybody out and say the car's no good. And wait a minute, buddy, your teammate finished 5th. So, maybe it's not the car. I don't know. I'm mark me as one of those that I'm tired of the whole subject of Bubba.
He'll be gone in a couple years once the whole thing rubs
if
away.
he wasn't what he is and he wasn't driving for Michael Jordan, he would not have a ride right now. It's that
He
simple.
probably would have stuck with Richard Petty. Probably through another contract cycle. Just because he would have brought sponsorship with whatever happened. He would have stayed with Petty. Or whoever he went, because he would have brought sponsors. Because he brought a ton over the Petty when that happened.
He did. See how many of them stick with him for the next couple of years, because
shit, he won McDonald's.
He doesn't have to perform to get the attention.
No.
Everybody's watching him anyway. It's kind of like Danica was.
Yeah.
And thank God she's done in the booth.
For now.
Yeah. Whew.
Little segue to there. Gordon, he's going to be in the booth with...
Yeah. I have not seen anything beyond...
today.
Just Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta. I think it was like a last minute deal because they're doing like a special guest every week, whoever they can get, and like the last, it was Tony, then Matt, and then with Mark guest, and then they had Danica. Now they're doing Gordon. So who are they gonna get after that? It might, they might get Carl Edwards because he did it back in the day.
Yeah, I'd love to see him and Clint in the booth. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Love to see Tony get back in again for a couple of races.
Yeah, but those guys are pretty damn busy with their race cars, and Tony he was his NHRA
he's in the
stuff. Yeah.
Plus he's got that SRX
yeah, so he ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, he's got
probably
his
not till
pretty full.
Probably not till after SRX.
Yeah. But that, that doesn't really kick off until I believe it's either late June or early July before they even start racing in that.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of prep for him.
Yeah, well, he's got people. Oh. Yeah, I said I haven't got a whole lot, honestly, to say about.
No, it was just it was.
One other little tidbit I do want to put out there: Harvick is 10 straight top 10s at Phoenix. The only other people to have
he has more than that. He has 17 right now, right?
Straight.
Yeah, 17 straight. Top 10 finishes.
I don't know if it's 7. Well, I'd have to relook that up.
They were touting that all over the place. It's matching almost Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt.
Well, they did it at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah.
I think they're the ones that did the 17. I could be wrong.
No, they did 18 there, and then they were saying the only current driver to do it is Kevin Harvick, and I think it's 17 straight top 10 finishes at a racetrack. I'm trying to find it right now.
I was going to say, I didn't...
I saw a graphic. Yeah, Harvick scores 17 straight top 10 at Phoenix. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see that. I thought it was 10 straight top tens, but if it's 17, it's 17.
Yeah, it's 17 at Phoenix. But yeah, I realize they race there twice a year. So
Right. Well, he owned that track, 4 or 5 years ago. Nobody could beat him.
I really thought he was going to pull it away, but he just couldn't get, like, I don't know, forward bite after a while. Chase Briscoe, that car was on fire, though. Even with, I think, not pitting at the end there. Nobody could get near him. Teammate car.
Right.
I think Kevin Harvick's gonna get back into it once he gets more acclimated with the car. He only finished up. He finished sixth, so he was right there all day.
He was. He had yeah, and you're right. Chase, he didn't chase or change those tires at last pit stop. I thought that was going to be the end for him, but he pulled it out. I'm impressed.
Did you know that his here's another little thing I found out from Twitter. His sponsor, the tractor company for Briscoe,
Mahindra.
yeah,
Mahindra.
I didn't think they were that big of a damn tractor company. You see Craftsman or
Oh, Mahindra's big.
Huge. That guy has like
Yeah.
9.8 million followers. The president on Twitter. It's big. It's big in India, and that guy was all over the place, congratulating, saying all that stuff. So I didn't think it was that big, and it's a big company. He's a billionaire from India.
Yeah.
So he's got some money.
Mahindra's a big deal.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that big of a company, and it really is.
I love their commercials with.
Oh yeah, I saw that Daytona.
Tony.
Yeah, and they're comparing trophies and tractors. That was probably the best one so far, commercial wise, at least Daytona, I think.
Tony wouldn't put him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, there just wasn't a lot of controversy. They other than 9 teams failed inspection twice, but that didn't seem to do much.
Mm-hmm.
They just all had to go to the rear, and they still got to qualify, and they still got to pick their pits. So the one that's been still the hardest hit on that was Kurt Busch, and I believe that was at California where
Yeah, they do drive through.
Yeah, he didn't. He couldn't pick his pit. He couldn't. He had to do that drive through, drop to the rear. It was.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just tell him to go home? All right. Unless you got something else on that.
No, it was like I said. It was just a race. I think. I know it's spring to fall, but I think that gives a lot of drivers information for the final race of the year for the Cup. Whoever's involved, they got that data. They don't need to really go to. I guess they could go testing there, but they got they got data for the finale race.
Yeah. Well, I was listening to Alan Gustafson today on Sirius while I was doing some errands. He's crew chief for Chase, and he was kind of going into the wheel thing, and now I guess the gist of it was he certainly understands the point that Roush, Fenway, and Penske were making at Daytona about that
modifying the wheels. He says, because he's like, man, he says, all my guys, I'm telling them they have got to make sure that it seats properly, because if they're off just a micro on it and it doesn't seat properly. And another thing I found out that I wasn't aware of, but it makes sense, is on the back side of that rim, I think there's 6 like points or dimples or whatever that seat up on the the hub.
Yeah. So that's how they know that it's centered and seated.
I got it.
And he thinks that the problem that these teams are having with wheels coming off is they're not taking that extra microsecond to make sure that
it's seated.
that it's seated properly. They tighten it down, and then that vibration or the movement, the by not being seated in those divots, it's allowing them to back the wheel off, and that's why he thinks they're losing their tires like this, and that's why NASCAR. Because I couldn't understand this, is how my mind was, how do you come down so hard
Yeah.
for losing a wheel? Well, now after what I heard today, it makes a little more sense. If they're not properly putting those wheels on, then this is the result of it. So,
Regardless, I still think the penalty for tire problems issues is pretty damn drastic.
it is.
But it's one of those things. I don't think NASCAR is messing around. They want people to make sure it's done right, and they're making
Well, and
examples out of people.
I guess my other point would be is because they're like me, pays pretty close attention to all this and have been asking a lot of questions. Why hasn't NASCAR come out and explained,
Yeah, they should.
this is what
This
is
driver did.
going
This is what
on?
this driver did. This is why we did it. They need to explain.
Yeah, and they know that they're, the config, and I have not heard that kind of an explanation from any of the powers that be. Today's the first time I heard it, and it was from a crew chief. So, I'm just
Maybe
saying
it's one of those things. NASCAR told them not to say anything, and now it's just kind of we're 4 races into the season. They're like, okay, now we can start communicating.
Well, why
I don't know.
can't you say anything about it? That's what I wouldn't get. I would think they'd want it out there to let them know that,
Make
hey,
people understand. Yeah.
yeah. But again, I just thought that was kind of interesting the way he explained it, and again, it just made a little bit more sense to me after that. So
Yeah, more more information the better.
yeah, and not that I'm in favor of the harsh penalties. Don't get me wrong, but I can understand now a little bit better why NASCAR is so hard on them. Because if Gustafson is correct, the whole improperly installed wheel penalty now makes sense to me. That's what's going on. It was improperly installed, is why it came off. So anyway, I just, like I said, that it just helped me understand a little bit more.
I'm assuming just by thinking mechanically in design, if those dimples weren't there, the tire would spin to the one lug nut, so the dimples are there to help the tire be secure from spinning on the single
Yes, exactly.
lug rotor. Okay.
Yeah. So they it's not the rotor, it's whatever that
The hub.
plate is.
Yeah,
The hub.
it's just making me understand why they have
Yeah.
dimples there.
Yeah, it's just like a plate, and they've got 6 dimples
Mm-hmm.
or indents, and then on the back of the wheel supposedly are like 6 points,
Yeah.
and they have to hit and then mesh in.
Maybe
and then
maybe
tighten it.
maybe that design needs to change to where it's easier to line up the holes, or where they made up easier or something.
Well, it's like you have 6 points doing what the 5 lug nuts used to do.
Yeah. They're just making
So-
it quicker for tire on, tire off.
Right.
Well, tire off, and then you gotta make sure those line them up. So I understand. I understand the
But it-
design concept.
Yeah, it just, again, it made me understand a little bit more about how that works, because I was completely unaware. In fact, I had wondered.
I wonder if
To
F1
myself.
and Indy's the same way, having
I wonder
dimples.
too.
Their pit
Maybe
stops.
isn't that-
Their pit stops are like,
3 seconds.
yeah, yeah. And I
Okay.
think they keep their tires. They keep them heated too. They wrap them in a big diaper.
Do they?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
But then again, I don't watch F1 or Indy.
I don't
I
watch
might
it.
watch
It's
it
just,
this week.
it's only because of the Netflix show I know that.
Oh, okay. I might watch some IndyCar this weekend just because Jimmy Johnson's doing his first oval in an IndyCar at Texas. So that ought to be it. And they're touting it. He's the winningest
Driver at Texas.
active driver ever at Texas. So now they're like, well, you did it in a Cup car like 7 times. You ought to be able to do it in an Indy car.
Doesn't transfer. Look at Juan Pablo and Danica. Well, Danica really do.
Exactly. So, all right, I guess we can move on. Do we did the where the standings are pretty much and the winners, and
Yes.
again, there just wasn't a whole lot to talk about other than the winner and I just again I think it's pretty cool that the three on top of the standings, especially with Logano leading the points right now, have not got a win.
And it's crazy over the years when Logano came out, man, I hated that dude. Not like him. He's actually more likable, I guess, now that he's older and he's, I guess, proven himself. And he's, yeah, except back in the day, he always got in people's ways for fights. Matt Kenseth and Harvick and
Yeah, the famous
yeah,
who wears the fire suit in the family to
yeah,
Harvick. Yeah.
yeah. But I think he's, got into his own lane and groove to where he's doing all
Well,
right.
Logano came in with such fanfare.
Well, Gibbs
You
tried to
know,
push it down his throat right at, he was right after Kevin Harvick got in that car and, had Greg Zipadelli behind him. So yeah, he came
you
in
mean Tony Stewart left
when Tony Stewart left Gibbs.
yeah,
Joey Logano took that ride.
yes,
Yeah, so everybody was thought he's
exactly.
gonna step in and do
But
well.
remember, Logano was at Penske for 3 years.
That
Yeah, I think it was at No, no, no. He went to You're
yeah,
God. What
he
am
is
I
Penske.
thinking?
Yeah,
He was at Gibbs. He was in the
yeah, for a
yes,
couple years in the 20 car. Then
yeah,
then when that didn't wasn't really panning out, when he wasn't performing, he went to Penske and boom, wins a champion.
yeah,
And like I said, he's proven himself and he's being a good average driver almost every race. He's staying clean.
yep. He is so far.
Him and his teammate, is Austin Cendric's up there. He's above. We're trying to see where Ryan Blaney. Oh, Ryan Blaney's
Uh,
seventh. Then it's
yeah,
Tyler Reddick. So they're all on the top, right? 8. That's better than Hendrick right now.
yeah. It is actually Cindric, Blaney, and Logano all in top 8.
Yeah. It just makes
And
you.
where?
It just.
Just because I haven't,
This makes you want.
Mr.
Where's Keselowski?
18th.
Yeah.
Bubba Wallace is in front of him.
Only by 2 points. And that only reason is because of Daytona.
Right.
It wasn't for that. I'd love to see the stats of Daytona taken out of this. See where people were. Because Chase Elliott probably would be number 1 wasn't for Daytona. Also.
Well, Chase is doing just fine by himself.
Oh yeah. Heard. His win's coming too.
It is.
I think before the end of the year, Tyler Reddick, he's haunting it right now. Ross Chain is haunting it. Even Austin Dillon. I know he's 16th in the points, but he's performed. But he got crashed last lap on Phoenix too.
Yeah, Daniel Suarez. That's still a little bit of a story in the NASCAR media that I guess Suarez even tried to call him and all that, and Dillon won't take the call.
Good.
He's that upset with him.
Be the intimidator. You're in that car. Make it intimidating.
Well, and that wasn't, I think Suarez just ran out of talent on that last corner, but it's not like he intended to. And
wow, that's actually interesting. Christopher Bell is actually 30th in points. I thought he'd be way higher than that. Look at Denny Hamlin, 27th.
What? Let me see. I'm looking at this.
I'm looking at the 2022.
Oh, never mind. I was looking at something else.
That's got a bug, Denny. He's not handling this new car at all. Christopher Bell, I thought he'd do a lot better too. Harrison Burton, 31. That ain't that good, but I think he's having trouble.
He's a race short.
It's pretty bad. I figured Eric Jones would be higher. Ty Dillon I thought would be a little bit higher. But it's, the top 15, 16 people it's going to be real close.
I agree.
One race swing can do a lot.
It can, but right now it seems like you're going to have 2 to get guaranteed in. The the way this is going so far, I mean, I'll be interested to see who the first double winner is.
Oh,
Because like you
that's gonna
said,
be
there's a lot
Kyle.
of
That's gonna be Kyle.
there's yeah, you might be right on that. But there's a lot of good cars out there and a lot of really good drivers that haven't won a race
I
in the
agree.
first
I
four. And I
think
know it's only
wi-
4 races, but still.
with the way Kyle was running before his car, I think he probably would have been in contention to win, but his car let out. But it's definitely gonna
But
be Kyle, in my opinion.
but you got guys in this top 10. Granted, they're in the top 10. But even if you go down to William Byron, a past multiple winner,
Yeah.
Alex Bowman, Kurt Busch, then you got Harvick in 10th, Truex, a former champion, in 13th. Uh, Blaney, Almirola, but Elliott, Kyle Busch, and Logano. I mean, none of those guys have won a race yet. And again, it's only the fourth race, so
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
But when you got guys like Cindric and Briscoe winning on top of, I don't know. It'll be interesting. This weekend will tell a lot. They're away from, and it's a new configuration too at Atlanta.
Oh
New
yeah, yeah, yeah.
surface, new. I don't know how different it is. I was trying
I
to.
found now. I'm glad you brought that up. I know we're kind of going into Atlanta. The former track specs. I believe this shows the apron. Okay, that's what it is. It's the apron degree. So that's the bottom where the car is, whatever. It's 2 degrees. Before the new track is 2 degrees. The former transition from apron to the track, when they're going from the pit road on, it was 4. Now it's 18. That's
Ooh,
that's a big difference. That's pretty much not racing, but I guess people could try to race there. I just don't think that is the intended to race spot. And then the
I
former,
wonder how this new car is going to react coming off of that steep embankment.
yeah, the former banking for the track itself was 24. Now it's 28. Former
That's
track,
going to be faster speeds.
yes, the former track's width was 55 on the front stretch, 55 feet. Now it's 61.6.
So that's basically
A car,
almost.
yeah, another car.
Yeah.
6 feet. There's more room to try to go 4 wide. The back stretch was 55. Now it's 42.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Funneling them down.
And the turns was 55. Now it's 40. So it's going to be interesting.
So what? They're going to try and fan out on the front, and then they're going to have
squeeze
to get back
it.
to.
Yeah. Squeeze.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah. That's what this picture I found. I do remember it was before the season started that they were trying, or Atlanta was trying to have NASCAR run, and I don't know if they're still doing it or not, the super speedway package or not. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I know Atlanta wanted that. Now I don't know if they're doing that.
I saw Bob Pockris tweeted out something today, which it is about the weather. It's like an 80% chance of rain on Friday, which is supposed to be their practice day.
Oh boy.
So I wonder what's going to happen if they lose that whole day to weather. If they'll try and do something Saturday, because isn't the Xfinity there on Saturday? I can't remember.
Should be. I'd have to look at Xfinity schedule. NASCAR on TV. Yeah, they're there.
Okay. So that's going to curtail any opportunity because the Xfinity guys, they always do their practice and qualifying and race on the same day, where lately the Cup guys have been doing their practicing and qualifying on one day and then racing.
Yeah, Xfinity Series qualifying at 11:30 on Saturday, and then the race is at 4. It's a packed house. They have stuff going on from 10:30.
Was
10:30's trucks practice.
trucks are there too?
Yep. 11 a.m. is truck qualifying. Then 11:30 a.m.'s Xfinity qualifying. Then 12:30 is Cup qualifying. And then at 2 p.m. NASCAR race day, they're not doing, whatever. And then 2:30 is the truck race. 3:30 is it's IMS. We don't care about that. And then 4:30 is Xfinity Atlanta. Then yeah, that's all
So,
re-airs after that.
well,
Maybe they could race after, or maybe do after that. They don't think they have lights there though, do they?
I don't
If
know if
something were to
that
happen.
Atlanta does or not. I don't know. It'll be interesting because they're talking about everything from imposing, and I haven't heard anything definitive on this either, but imposing the double yellow line rule, uh, which with these bankings, now that I throw that into the mix, probably isn't a bad idea because that's a rather severe. They get down
Down in
below
there,
that.
they're gonna do a Daytona, lose it, and go back up the track.
Yeah, and once they try to get back on the banking, so maybe that's not such a bad idea. But I hate that rule. If you're dumb enough to go down there, you ought to be man enough to accept the consequences. But um, I got a feeling, depending on what happens in the truck and the Xfinity races, there may be some race day changes for the Cup guys as far as rules and that kind of stuff. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. Like I
new,
said, I was trying to find while you were talking if they were gonna what packages they're running. If it's gonna be like a super speedway or mile and a half package. I couldn't find anything.
I couldn't either.
I tried
I
finding
hadn't.
pictures of the track too, and they have a whole thing on their website, and it's all about the construction. I want to see finished of the track. They don't have anything.
Okay. Uh, see where.
They don't have anything on.
All right. I couldn't. I don't see anything anywhere, not even on JSki about. I'm sure they've got some older articles. I just haven't looked down far enough.
Yeah, no, I was trying to find some stuff. There's some. I guess some other news before we I guess we can dive into Atlanta. I had wrote down. I found John Hunter Nemechek is joining Joe Gibbs this
In the
year,
18 car, yeah,
and
for
he's
three
filled 3
races.
races. He's doing Richmond, Dover, and Texas, which is getting him out of the trucks, and he's been performing pretty well in the trucks. I thought that was a little cool, noteworthy thing because the same car Trevor Bayne's driving, and he added Atlanta this week. He wasn't supposed to drive
Trevor
it.
Bayne's racing in Atlanta.
Yeah, he added from 7 to 8, so he's added Atlanta to his race. After
Well, he had a really good performance
yeah,
at
he's
Phoenix,
mm-hmm.
so
Yep. So that was two little nitpick things that I seen that I think Trevor Bayne should be driving that thing full time, but
I agree. I'm not sure what the story is with that, if he doesn't really want to or whether there's something else going on, but
yeah.
he's proven he's still got it.
Oh
That's
yeah, with the right equipment, he's definitely got the talent to get that thing to the victory late. He got to be consistent with it.
yeah.
Another little news bit thing. NASCAR upheld the Colleague Racing Daytona penalty. 4-race suspension stands. It just came out.
Well, that's I don't think such a big deal, is it? I mean, it's not like is it?
That's the wheel thing. I think is what happened, right, with them.
Oh no, I'd have to go
Yeah,
back.
it's the case Daytona, and they appealed it and whatnot.
Yeah, Because it would, if it was a different penalty, it would have probably stuck out to me just simply because every penalty seems to have something to do with the damn wheels.
Yeah, the crew
They,
chief, front tire changer, and jack, the same 3 people, will be suspended from
but
NASCAR.
Colleague's not doing a full time schedule, are they?
Yeah, they have 2 full-time schedules, but only one of the drivers is full-time. That's Justin Haley in the 31.
Okay.
In the 31. The 16 isn't full-time. They have 2 or 3 different drivers driving the 16. It's Daniel Hemrick and AJ Allmendinger, I think, are tag team in that ride.
Okay.
There
That
might,
must be the one that AJ's going to race at Texas.
he raced it this past weekend too.
Okay. You see, Greg Biffle's going to be back at Atlanta again in the 44.
I feel bad for him because that car sucks. I know he's
Not
trying
the
to help out
best.
a team, but that car is not performing at all.
And it's mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
He's not wrecking or anything like that. It's just, you're right, it's mechanical. And he's being a good sport about it too. I mean,
Yeah.
because every time he's gotten in that thing, it's something's went wrong, and then he hasn't said much. Tyler Reddick signed a deal extension
For
through
2023. I
Yep.
seen that 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Again, the only other thing I can see that I don't know, I'd have to read it. The ratings for Phoenix was, let me see what they're saying about it. It's 2.7. I know that's not awesome. No, it was 2.3, down 9% from last year. So that is the third straight race in a row where viewership has fallen almost double digits.
Surprised.
And even so, but again, this is more of a. It says nonetheless, Phoenix was still the most watched U.S. sport event of the weekend. Well, explain to me what else was there.
They need it's rating on TV.
I mean,
is
this weekend
always
they're going to
down.
have a little bit of competition with, the college tournament
Hoops, yeah.
starting.
Mhm.
And then here in a couple of weeks, the USFL starts. So we'll see what happens when. But I mean, quite frankly, there's just nothing much going on in the world of sports.
Well, there's NBA, but I don't know if they're
They've never been a challenge for NASCAR.
trying to find the exact dates of that though. Yeah, those are Saturday and Sunday games.
Yeah. When are they starting? It's not only a couple.
It's starts April 16th and 17th. Noon game, 4 game, and 8 p.m. They go all the way and June 18th of the regular season. And they have so it probably goes to mid July
Yeah.
for the postseason.
Well, I guess my only point is when there's something major going on that, and let's face it, the USFL is going to get a lot of viewership just because it's new.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
for at least a couple of weekends, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But um, baseball is going to be kicking in, so and that's what, the second week of April now. So my point is let's see what these ratings are when there are actual other major sport events going on. Because like I said, right now you should have just shut up when you admitted that it was down 9% from last year, and not make that other disclaimer, that other caveat there. Because against what? PBA bowling? That's the only other thing going on right now. But
Ratings for sports is down in general, so I guess if anything, they want to compare to other sports ratings that are down, they're probably one of the least amount down.
True.
Compared, if you want to compare, because I follow wrestling too, and back in the day when we were younger, they were pulling 6, 7, 8 million views, viewers, and now they're barely pulling 1.5, 2 million, just because viewership's just down in general. Either that because of television or internet, or you can watch it free on certain sites. I don't know what it is. It's just, trust me, when I didn't have a TV, I found it to watch free online. I know
Yeah.
places to get, and if I can find it, people can Google and search that. They can find it real easy
Absolutely.
in many different locations. YouTube is, you get in trouble with streaming on YouTube, obviously events, but people still do it under random accounts. They'll still stream on YouTube. It'll be private. You need a certain link, and people give it out. It's not, people do it all the time. And so those millions of viewers or whatever an amount is still not being added to their rating. So
Agreed.
it's just down in total, just because of technology, I guess.
Well, they're not able to count everybody.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah,
That's the biggest problem.
too many different
So,
ways to watch anymore.
you know who has the most active wins in Atlanta? Granted, it's not the new track, but
I would say Kevin Harvick, right?
he's got 3. Kurt Busch has got 4.
Oh yeah.
02, 09, 10, and in 2021. Keselowski and Kyle have each got 2. Kyle Busch,
You might as well just take Keselowski
Blaney
out
and
of that.
Hamlin. Huh?
Might as well just take Keselowski out of that.
Yeah, exactly. Blaney and Hamlin each have 1. Although Hamlin hasn't won at Atlanta since 2012, so maybe the new track will be more to his liking.
If they like I said, they designed this track to be like a super speedway. So if that's true, I think, I don't know, if it runs like Daytona, Fords will be heavy contenders. Now, will it run like that? I don't know. I just know they want to run it like a super speedway, pretty much. Now, will it actually run like that, where Fords were dominant, or is it still going to be racy to where people could, actually pass instead of without pack racing? So I don't know how this is going to work, how it'll race.
Well, speeds are definitely going to be up with the added banking. That is a fact.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt has the most wins at Atlanta with 9. That's amazing. But anyway, again, not much to talk about on that. Again, I don't know what to expect. I don't. That's the thing, is I'm hesitant to make any real predictions.
You can still make predictions.
Yeah, well, it depends too, and I'm talking as far as the kind of racing we're going to see. Because again, if they impose that double yellow line, I don't know. I can't wait for the first practice because I will be watching that just to see what the speeds actually are.
Yeah, what are they expecting? I know they probably did testing. It might be interesting to go to their YouTube and no, they didn't. They just finished the track recently.
I was gonna say I don't
think they have any testing.
But
that up.
I think this would be another track to, in my opinion, be a good candidacy for a first-time winner. The old saying, "You don't know what you don't know."
Yeah. These cars are so cookie cutter, not much will change.
No. I've just, as we've been talking, I've been kind of cruising around some of my other pages, and I can't find where anybody's saying a whole lot about Atlanta and what, to expect.
Yeah, I was trying to look. I went on their YouTube. They don't have anything because I don't think the track finished for them to actually go there and practice. So I don't know if they're gonna take like the Daytona package settings, and
by package, what do you mean by that?
just what they have on the car, like setting wise, the trim and the tires and how they have the independent suspension. Are they gonna set those all to be like Daytona and then adjust accordingly, or are they gonna go in with like California's settings of the car? Like you got to have some sort of setting, and then go accordingly. I just don't know how they're gonna set the cars up. Yeah, there's nothing practice at
Yeah,
that place.
like I said, I don't want to see this dead air, but I can't find anything anywhere, and maybe that's just because they did just finish.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I don't quit looking. We're just killing air here. Um, and I had the entry list. I didn't see any uh, surprise. Um, just Greg Biffle and got some regular guys, but they've been going. I mean, right now with 40 spots open and only 37 cars showing up for about every race, anybody that shows up gets to play.
yeah. Well, it's I want to say if I remember correctly, didn't they used to have 43 cars? Now it's only 36. This isn't recent. 43, like in the Gordon and Earnhardt days, starting grid.
Well, yeah, there was always, I believe, 40 or 41 spots available at each race, and there was always between 43 and 45 cars that showed up. There was uh, anywhere from to 4 or 5 cars that would go home, literally have to
Yeah,
load up and go home. So, qualifying actually did mean something other than just pit position.
yeah,
It meant whether you were going to get a paycheck that week because you didn't. And I can remember Joe Nemechek for I don't know 4 or 5 years when he had his own race team. His one mission in life was to show up every week and just qualify, start and park, take last place money, not wear out his stuff, not blow motors. He had like 2 guys that were his pit crew, and all they did was prep the car and stand in the pits while he practiced, qualified, and then he would only run 5 or 6 laps in a race at the very back of the field and then park it, go home. He gets last place money. He didn't spend anything other than his time and effort to get to the track.
yeah,
Um, and it used to irritate other guys very much so, that actually came to try and race. And if they crashed in practice or crashed in qualifying and didn't make the cut, they're sent home without an opportunity. And there's Joe motoring around taking their spot for 4 or 5, especially the first guy that didn't make qualifying. It was a big issue in the 90s about what he was doing. And now that that's a non-issue just because there's not enough cars showing up at the track to fill all the positions. But that was huge back in the day, and I can't remember who the other guy was, but there was someone else that was doing the same thing as Joe Nemechek. Just, I mean, heck, last place was paying 40 $35 $40,000. That's not a bad weekly paycheck for anybody
no, not
if
at
you don't
all.
have any overhead.
Nope.
So, and boy, I'll tell you, the first guy that went down that didn't make it on qualifying, they wouldn't talk to anybody because they had nothing good to say.
No.
Because there's Joe taking their spot that they wanted really bad, and oh well, it is because a lot of those third tier teams would go to these races knowing they had no opportunity to win, but through attrition, driving safely, they may pull off at Daytona top 15 spot just by not being in the big one or two.
Hmm.
that there was a potential for a big payday for him. But anyway, that was a little off track there, but it just reminded me,
Yeah.
there's now they can't get enough cars there. Before they were sending guys home. But
They only send guys home only at like Daytona and
yeah.
Talladega because they know.
What was there, 2 cars that didn't make it this year at Daytona, I believe?
Yeah, and they barely made it. It was like last minute entries. It wasn't like
Yeah.
they were gonna make it or not.
All right. How about talked out of that one? Uh, got a pick for. Wait a minute. I want to look at.
I'm
We
gonna
made
I'm
some-
gonna say Harvick again. To be honest, I'm gonna say Harvick as my
Okay.
winner. And you know what's fucked up? I almost took Chase Briscoe too as my dark horse, but like I looked at him like, no, he's actually finishing pretty well. Then
Mhm.
and then he wins the damn thing.
Well, we both had Harvick for the win last week, which again
I had
was
Harrison
6th.
and he did horrible.
Yeah, and you had Harrison Burton for the dark horse, and I had Stenhouse.
And he did pretty good. He finished pretty finished. But he finished well.
Was it 12th?
10th.
It wasn't.
No, Chris Buescher finished. Yeah. Chris Buescher, you said, or you said Stenhouse?
Stenhouse.
Oh, he finished 28th.
He wasn't. I was gonna say he was
Right
down
above
there, yeah.
Harrison. One position above.
So my dark horse wasn't a
Yeah.
whatever. You're gonna take Harvick again as your winner?
Yeah, I think he got a little taste of how the car is running, and he likes Atlanta, and it's apparently they're trying to push this as a super speedway. So Ford's, I think, just the way they performed at Daytona, it makes me think that Fords are going to do the same thing here. But it all depends how racy the track is. But I'm going to say Harvick again.
Okay.
And what was the stipulation for Dark Horse?
I don't remember.
It's like somebody
That's
who
what-
hasn't finished the top 5, or who isn't, or something like that.
I would say if we ought to at least make it somebody that's outside of the top 25 in points. Does that sound like a good?
Oh, yeah, fine. I'll take Christopher Bell. That's easy pick.
All right.
If anything, you should say out of the top 20 because there's only 13 like active drivers out of the top 20.
Well, let's make it. I'd say top 25 just to make it even harder. So you're taking Harvick for the win.
And Christopher Bell,
Christopher
Dark Horse,
Bell.
yeah.
All right. Let me look.
You only
I'm
have
going to be different.
Justin Haley, Michael McDowell. You can take Denny. He's not really a dark horse, but he's not in the top 25.
He's outside of 25.
There you go. Dark horse Denny. Holy shit, I didn't notice.
We could have some fun with this one.
Oh man, then he had Todd and Corey LaJoy, and then Harrison and BJ McLeod, and then shit, you could have Greg Biffle because I know he's supposed to race.
Yeah, that would be an awesome pick for a dark horse. Oh my gosh. Let me get back over here. Points. All right. So I'm going to surprise you on this one. For my winner, I'm going with BK. I think Keselowski might actually break out this time. I'm not putting him in my lineup, but I'm
break out into a wall. That's what he's gonna be.
Yeah, it depends on whether he has that snowplow on the front or not.
Jeez.
And then I won't pick Hamlin because that's not a good one.
You can, hey, it's part of the rules, so you can do it. I didn't even realize when I started looking. I was like, "Fuck, Denny." Okay, it's part of the rules.
Man.
Dark horse Denny, take him.
Dark horse. Christopher Bell's a good shot. I'm not taking him. I'm going to take Michael McDowell.
Yeah, that's a good one too. He's always good at super speedways. Now, like I said, is this going to be that? he does it, and he's pretty good at road courses. So
He is, and his first and only win came at Daytona. So
yeah.
um,
Uh, so I yeah no. Are you writing those down? I'm assuming.
I am.
Okay.
I am writing them down. I got them. You got Harvick for the win and Bell for the dark horse. I got Keselowski and McDowell.
Okay.
So
Um. Now we can go to kind of transition to the fantasy.
okay,
Um,
I haven't even looked at that yet.
He didn't make any picks, so he just let his stuff ride. I don't know if he's having time to change them or not, but he had 140 points this last race. You with picks only had 160.
I'm still in first place.
I told you I was swinging for the fences, and I did. If Kyle Larson didn't go out, I would have had over a 200 point race.
Wow.
You had 160. I had 194. I caught you up by
Yeah, you're not
34.
far behind me now.
Now let's go to the actual league. That was for the race. Now overall, Frank's 605 because he hasn't picked in 2 races. I'm 648 and you're 655. I'm right behind you, 7 points.
Yep. 7 points.
Like I said, I swung for the fences on this race, and if it wasn't for
Well, I had 2 guys go out, being Larson and who else? I can't remember who the second
Martin
one
Truex,
was.
I think.
It might have been him.
Now, what kind of sucked is Denny didn't do shit the whole race, and in the way this fantasy works, you can trade your garage driver until the final stage starts, and then everything was great. And then Kyle Larson went out, and I had Denny in my garage, and I couldn't swap. If I could have swapped him, because Denny finished 13th, that would have helped out a lot.
Yeah, I can't remember who. I know whoever I had in my garage, I swapped, and it didn't help me at all. But
yeah,
and,
Kyle.
and for the same reason, is because if I'd have made the right pick, I'd have gotten rid of Kyle Larson. But
Yeah,
who's gonna trade?
no, you're not. Kyle Larson only ended up with 13 points, and Denny Hamlin had 24, so I would have gained 11 points.
Yeah,
Um,
you'd have taken the lead.
yeah, and then if you would have swapped out Hamlin for Martin Truex, he had 2 points to 24.
Is Hamlin who I had in the garage?
Yeah,
I think I did switch him and Truex. I had Truex in the garage and switched them.
yeah. I think you did say you just swapped them because Hamlin
Yep.
wasn't doing shit until literally the final stage. He was
Yep.
out of the top 20 the whole race, and then I don't know if because the cautions helped him out or not, or the last pit stops, they finally figured something out, but he came back to finish 11th. And I said the same thing. I swapped him out. I think, who did I swap him out for? No, I kept my lineup the whole race. I didn't change anything. Because everything was going fine until the Kyle Larson motor failure. But no, I'm caught right up. I don't know what I'm going to do this week. All depends on how practice goes before I make my pick.
I made an initial lineup right before we got started with this, but I'm just gonna, like you, I'm gonna wait and see after qualifying before I might tweak it a little bit. But I'm kind of doing what you've been doing, is I took all my heavy hitters out because I just think this race is going to be such a crapshoot that. Plus, I wanted to save a bunch of my usage.
Yeah.
I think I put in all guys that I've not used yet at all, and took all the guys that I've been using and took them out, just to try and save some picks for down the road.
I probably might do that this
And
week. Maybe have one good ringer in there just to try to keep some
I
points.
might have one put in the garage just in case I'm getting totally wiped out by the time the third stage starts. So, all right, kid, unless you got something else, I don't. I don't. Like I said, there just wasn't a lot in NASCAR world to talk about this week.
No, is more or less is done with the West Coast swing and moving forward. I guess we can touch on one subject. I know you're gonna hate this. We can talk about it for whatever amount. I know this could be a bigger story down the line. Is I know you've seen it. I've seen your comments on it. NASCAR All Electric Series.
Oh, Jesus, please. Well, not only that, Tesla came out today saying they will have a car ready by 2024 season. I was like, I put it on the Facebook
That's
page.
why I said I know you've seen it.
Oh my God! I'm like, stop it!
I heard the rumor that they're in talks to do it, and yeah,
And you know what? If they want to actually race electric cars, great. Make another series.
I think
Leave
it is.
regular.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be their own series. They won't intermingle. My only thing with that is that's what I think would be super dangerous, and we can talk about this more down the line. Those
Oh,
cars,
those batteries.
breeze will explode.
Yeah, they will. I mean, well, they can say that about gasoline motors too.
Yeah, but those are high octane, so it takes a lot more for that to gas to do that. But these are electric; those are like bombs, literally like bombs. So
oh, you get
the wrong thing that can happen. It's toast. So I don't know.
I think it could be much more dangerous as well. That's another reason why I'm kind of really against it. What's going to happen? If they go airborne at Daytona, catch the fence, and those batteries go flying, say into the crowd, and they're burnt. I don't know what they're composed of, but I'm sure it's like they've got to have some kind of liquid in there. And
no thing. Well, electric cars have a certain amount of charge time. So we're gonna go down and sit down there for 30 minutes and charge.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna have actually that's not true. They can charge in like 20 minutes. So they're gonna have in between like half for the race while we're all gonna sit down there and charge it, have a little pit stop.
I'm sure that they can probably come up with some kind of onboard charging generation system of some kind. I don't
alternator?
know that. Yeah, I don't know. I just
hook an alternator to one of the wheels and it'll spin.
But
charge.
I know those. And again, I'm only speaking today's batteries. I don't know. Maybe they've got a next gen battery or something that's different. But those things are hazardous waste.
Yeah.
If you have to have them replaced in your street car, say you own a Prius right now, it's a couple $1,000s to replace them, number one, and it's just almost as much to have them disposed of.
Yeah, Tesla is like $10,000 to replace a battery. Their cars.
So
the thing is, though, those cars would be harder to get airborne just because the batteries are below your feet. At least in the street cars, the whole base floor is just the battery packs.
Yeah.
The only thing I do know about electric cars is they have really good takeoff, so they're quick. Now, how fast can they go and sustain that speed on batteries? I don't know. I know Toyota obviously has. They could do. Could you imagine NASCAR Prius? And I know NASCAR and Chevy and Ford are also working on all electric.
What, a Chevy Volt?
Yeah, but it's kind of like I think they're doing like I don't think they'll do a Camaro version, but like how they're doing the truck version of electric. So like, are they gonna? Yeah, so are they gonna do like a Camaro version electric? I don't know, or a Lumina or Impala. I don't know.
Well, if they do something, I hope they do.
They can. I think they'll definitely
completely different series like the Arca series or make it the Electra series. I don't know.
I feel like that's what they'll do. They won't be. They can't. It'll be two different cars because that I don't see that happening. It'll be their own series.
Yeah.
With probably Tesla, Chevy, Ford, Toyota.
Yeah. I just don't think there's an appetite for that in the sports world.
Well, motorsports, everybody's like, loud cars, roar, roar. What are you gonna do when you do? Let's crank it up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Jeff Dunham, I'm gay.
Oh man.
Um,
Yeah, that would empty the stands really quick as far as I'm
a lot of
concerned. At
people,
least the people.
people who has never been to a racetrack, they need to understand. For one, the feeling the cars give you when they go by, depending on how close you are, the smell,
Yes.
the sound.
It's unique. There's nothing like it.
You're not gonna have that. Maybe you might have the tire smell, but you won't have the fuel smell. You won't have that experience that an actual NASCAR
I think
race
one of
has.
the, if I remember correctly, the first time you ever felt a NASCAR shake the ground was probably at Indianapolis when Jerry Nadeau backed it into the wall right in front of us and it shook the whole stands. I
Yeah,
don't know if you recall
I
that or not.
no, I just know the first racetrack was Indy, and then we started going to Michigan,
Hmm.
and then
But
Bristol.
that
Bristol is its
we
own
were,
experience itself.
oh my gosh, that was awesome. But yeah, that when Nadeau backed it into the wall at Indy, we were probably 25 to 30 rows up and it literally shook the stands all the way up there. He hit that thing so hard. But no, you're correct. If I feel sorry if there's a whole generation of people coming up that won't get to experience what you and I have experienced on several occasions, because even at the age of 60, I believe me, that's one of those things I want to go do again a couple of times, is just for the the feeling, there's nothing like smelling that gas, those tires. It's just amazing. There's just no way to explain it.
Yeah, it's just the experience of an actual NASCAR race. Senses, I guess, is the best word. You're using a lot
Yeah,
of your
there you go.
senses. The sight
Hmm.
of it, and like you really can't compare. Michigan's fast, but like you can't compare it to Bristol because it's right in front of your face. Anywhere you
Hmm.
sit in that place, you pretty much have a really good view. You're not having binoculars, seeing the backtrack. It's all right there.
Yeah,
Um, so you're not missing anything, and it's nonstop action packed. And it blows my mind. There's never more race wrecks in that place, but y- the experience you get for just any race, but Bristol alone is
Bristol's awesome.
they
It's
called it Thunder Valley for a reason.
yeah, and it's well earned title.
Yeah.
That's a fact. There's no doubt about that. I hopefully, um in the next year or so I will get to experience Martinsville. Um if they ever bring North Wilkesboro back, I will have season tickets for that place. Or Rockingham. There's a lot of chatter about that right now, but um I'm telling you, North Wilkesboro, they're going to have that track back up and running, and it's not going to take a whole lot longer. But
Well, for how much they're trying
another
to
place I
change,
want to I want to get to, and I haven't, is Darlington, because I think Darlington is just a big Bristol.
even Dover.
Um, Dover would be cool. Some of the shorter tracks. So yeah, I miss those days of going all the time, but got new adventures here to do.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, you got anything else?
No, we talked more than.
Yeah, you got me off on a tangent there with that electric
Yeah, I know.
BS.
That's why I say it's just that's another thing on its own. Whenever NASCAR actually announces what's going to happen, but I know that was something that came up this week, and so it's my something to touch on.
Okay.
Other than that, no. We talked
All
for
right,
quite
my
a
man.
bit, almost an hour and 10 minutes.
Good.
And that's good to go. Probably
Sounds good.
upload it tonight or tomorrow, and then edit it, and then it'll be live.
Okay. All right, you have a good week, and we'll do it again next week.
All right. Well, let me get the music going. We can get it going.